Hello dear students, this is Aarti ma'am. We are learning chapter number 8, Cell, Structure and Functions. In the last video, we have studied about discovery and history of the cell, instruments for studying cells, unicellular and multicellular organisms, and the level of organizations from cell to organisms. In this video, we will study about shape and size of the cell and main parts of the cell. Cells show a great variation in their shapes such as spherical, example eggs of many animals, spindle shape, example smooth muscle cells of our body. Next is elongated and branched, example is nerve cells. These nerve cells are the cells of our brain. Sperm cells, these are oval and long. Here you can see red blood cells, these are oval in shape and curved. And these columnar epithelial cells are cuboidal in shape. Some cells may not have definite shape, that is, they have changing their shapes. Example, amoeba and white blood cells, that is WBCs. The shape of a cell helps in its functioning. For example, a nerve cell is very long and has wire-like projections coming out of it. These projections help the nerve cell carry messages and send them to all parts of the body. Muscle cells expand and contract. Their long, thin shape helps them to do this. All the cell components are enclosed in a membrane which provides shape to every plant and animal cell. Now we will see cell size. The cells and their organelles are measured by fractions of a millimeter. 1/1000th of a millimeter is called a micron. Most of the cells are microscopic in size and are not visible to the naked eye. They need to be enlarged or magnified by a microscope to be seen. The size of cells varies from the very small cells of bacteria, that is 0.1 to 0.5 micrometer, to very large eggs of the ostrich, that is 170 millimeter into 130 millimeter. In our body, red blood cells, that is 7 micrometer, are the smallest, and the nerve cell about 100 centimeter are the longest cells. The size of the cells has no relation with the body size of an organism. The size of a very big animal, example an elephant, is not bigger than the cells of a smaller animal like rat. The size of a cell is related to its function. For example, the nerve cell of both rat and elephant are long and branched, which perform the same functions of transmitting messages. Now we will see the parts of the cell. Cells differ in their shapes and sizes. All cells, however, show some similarities in their structure. A typical cell consists of 3 parts: cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. Now we will see about the cell membrane or plasma membrane. Every cell is bounded by a thin delicate membrane called cell membrane or plasma membrane. You can see here the outermost covering. We call it as cell membrane or plasma membrane. It is selectively permeable membrane. This plasma membrane is porous. You can see here in picture these pores. So the plasma membrane is porous and allows the entry and exit of only selected substances. You can see It is allowing only selected substances. These are going, and it is outside only because it is not allowing these particles to go inside. It also prevents the movement of some other substances across it. Thus, it is called selectively permeable membrane. Only the selected substances or materials can go inside the cell. Otherwise, they will remain outside the cell. It provides an outer boundary to the cell and separates cells from one another and also from the surrounding medium. It also protects the cell from injury. Now we will learn about cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a thick jelly-like fluid inside the cell bound by a cell membrane. You can see here it is a cell membrane, outermost covering of the cell, and inside this cytoplasm is present. All the chemical reaction of the cell occur in the cytoplasm. There are many cytoplasmic bodies suspended in the cytoplasm called cell organelles. You can see here some bodies are present here. These bodies are called as cytoplasmic bodies. We will learn about this cytoplasmic bodies or cell organelles afterwards. Nucleus. This nucleus is the largest and the most prominent organelle in a cell. You can see here in the center of the cell, nucleus is present, and it is also called as the brain of the cell. It is a large spherical body present in all cells. After staining, it can be easily seen with the help of microscope. In animal cells, nucleus lies at the center of the cell, and in plant cell, nucleus lies at the periphery of the cell due to the presence of large vacuole. You can see here it is a vacuole. We will learn about vacuole afterwards. You just have to remember the point that in animal cell, the nucleus lies at the center of the cell, and in plant cell, nucleus lies at the periphery. Periphery means at the corner, at one side of the cell. The nucleus consists of the following four parts. Nuclear membrane. You can see here it is a nuclear membrane. Outermost layer is called as a nuclear membrane, and it is porous. You can see here it is a porous. Next is nucleoplasm. So as cytoplasm, you can see here nucleoplasm is present, light blue colored portion, and nucleolus. You can see here red colored body. It is dense and it is called as nucleolus. The next is chromosomes. You can see here, children, some thread like structure, or it is looking like a network. So it is called as chromatin thread or chromatin network. In the dividing cell, these chromatin thread condenses and forms chromosomes. Now we will discuss about nuclear membrane. This membrane is porous, as we have discussed earlier. The nuclear membrane protects the nucleus and also allows the movement of certain selected substances to pass in and out of the nucleus. As the cell membrane does the same for the cell, like the main office, like the wall of the mall and its entrance, which protects the office and let workers in and out. The next part of the nucleus is nucleoplasm. The dense fluid present in the nucleus is called nucleoplasm. You can see here light blue colored. It is field inside the nucleus. It is nucleoplasm. Now we will discuss about nucleolus. It is a small spherical body present inside the nucleus. It is rich in RNA, that is ribonucleic acid. The next part is chromosomes. We can see, we have discussed earlier that this thread-like substance condenses in the cell at the time of cell division, and it condenses and forms chromosomes. You can see here chromosomes. It is looking like this at the time of cell division. Chromosomes are only visible in dividing cells. These chromosomes carry genes. Genes are responsible for passing genetic characteristics from the parents to the offspring. A child receives one copy of each gene from her mother and another copy of same gene from her father. Functions of nucleus. The nucleus controls all the metabolic activities of the cell. It is responsible for passing genetic characteristics from the parent to the offspring. For example, if a person has brown eyes, his son or daughter may also have brown eyes. And if a woman has curly hair, her son or daughter may also have curly hair. However, different combinations of genes from parents may result in different characteristics. So here we have finished our today's topic. Keep learning, keep radiating. Thank you.